sequence start in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
I am Kelvin Provided, and I'm your host at the See Me Game podcast. We have invented a way to have defensive walking. You ready to go on this journey with me? Let's do this. Hey, so good to see you, even though I can't see you. It's another beautiful day in the neighborhood, and I'm so excited that you're here at See Me Game podcast. And we're going to go through a couple things today. First thing is the update of the See Me Game 1R. See Me Game 1R update. Our countdown to White Cane Awareness Day. And our goal is to launch this October in time for the October 15th. So if you haven't pre-ordered your See Me Cane, you're going to want to do that because if you're not the first 100 See Me Cane pre-orders, you're going to get an increase in your price. So that means if you want $75 off your See Me Canes, you need to go to seemecane.com. All right, where we at with the See Me Cane 1R? Where we are in the production process? Where we at with all of that happening? See Me Cane 1R last week, or not 2 weeks ago, I put out the podcast saying that we were waiting for delivery of parts to come in. They came in on Friday last week, and they came in, and now they're putting it together, so it should be put together between either today or tomorrow, Tuesday. And if it's not put together by that point, I'll be surprised. They're going to then test the See Me Cane. They're going to be testing the flickering issues that we've had in the past. They're going to be testing the battery life. They're going to be testing the quality. They're going to be testing the different button components and making sure all those things work. And then I'm going to fly out to Charlotte, North Carolina. Say hello, everybody. How you guys doing? And meet the team and do some testing with them. If this passed my test, I have a very rigid test that I do. If it passes my test, then it will get shipped to the people that will be manufacturing the See Me Cane by using visually impaired people to do the work. If this passes, we're going to be in good shape. And I'm right on schedule. There's still a lot of things that have to happen, and that's why we're going to do these 2 weeks. Every 2 weeks, I do an update on where we're at with the See Me Cane 1R, so that way you're very aware that I'm still working on this project, and we're still making this happen. Invented, developed, and manufactured by visually impaired individuals, it's time for See Me Cane's Story of the Day. All right, so getting into today's topic, which is why did we choose the tube that we're using, or okay, the shaft? And the main reason why we chose this is two things: the weight and translucency. You're probably wondering, what is the material? Well, the material is a little bit of fiberglass and a bunch of something else. I can't talk about that. But that bunch of something else makes it translucent. And it gives the cane a fiberglass feel with a rigidness of graphite and the weight of aluminum. I know. I said the weight of aluminum. I know some of you are like, oh, really, Kelvin? You gotta make it that heavy. Let's just be straight here. There are limitations on what I'm able to do to make a translucent tube. So you gotta work with me on this. So let's talk about how I've been able to make the weight lower and keep it at the weight standard. So obviously, the number one heaviest piece is probably going to be the battery. Then second is going to be the shaft itself, which is actually really light. But when you add the battery, LEDs, the PCB board, and the tip, it all adds up. 13 ounces isn't, there's not many ounces there to wiggle with. But 13 ounces is the standard. That is what a lot of canes are, 13 ounces. We're currently at 14 ounces, but the goal is to drop one more ounce or at least half of that. So I'll keep you up to date on the exact weight over time. So probably in the next, probably June, I'll be able to tell you for sure the exact weight. Because there's two more things that has to be adjusted in regards to the handle and the tip area. And I think that's where we're going to be able to lose at least a half an ounce, maybe a full ounce. So that is why we picked the seaming cane tube or shaft that we are currently using. So let's get into these new segments that we're going to be doing for the seaming cane. So the new segment that I'm really excited about is Light Up the Blind Moment.
Light up the blind moment, coming right up.
I interview people that are visually impaired that are doing cool things. So let's meet Evan Starnes.
Since I'm the one hosting today, so that means you got to tell me what blind level tech is and kind of tell everybody what blind level tech is all about.
Oh boy. Okay, this could be fun. Well, blind level tech blind level tech has been around for a little over a year now. And it actually started out being hosted by our podcast producer, Jonathan Price. Shout out. Woo woo. And it's a show dedicated to the use of technology from a blind and low vision perspective. So we cover anything from TVs and smart home appliances to the latest and greatest assistive tech or app updates, or we'll also have plenty of guests on there to talk about their technological experience and journey. So it's a geek show where geeks go to geek out, pretty much.
Evan's really cool. If you go listen to some of the podcasts, you might hear my voice. I used to be a co-host on that podcast. I can't do that anymore. My time and my schedule, I had to let that go. So if you're like, oh, Kelvin, you were on that podcast. Yes, I was. But go check out Blind Level Tech. Link in the description. And definitely have a blast with that. So let's get into the CMK News.
It's time for CMK News.
CMK News is going to be anything that is CMK related that either I was on a podcast or I was on the news or it's just something that is helpful for you to know about. I was just on Blind Spot, and it's a really awesome podcast. I tell you, we had a blast. And if you catch this and you go listen to the most recent episode, I'm interviewing them about their vision loss stories and how they got the podcast started. So you want to go back one more, which I'll give you the direct link as well in the description, to that episode of them interviewing me about the CMK and my story. So that wraps up the CMK podcast. And again, I am so excited that you're here. And continue to share this out far and wide. Help us get more people to listen. And just follow this journey. I feel like I'm going to be as transparent as possible. And as well, be extremely encouraging to help you as visually impaired people to keep moving forward with our independence. We need it. We need encouragement with each other, and we need to build community to make that happen. As I always say, go live beyond your challenges, and I'll see you in 2 weeks.
If you would like to pre-order your See Me Cane, go to seemecane.com.